Welcome to today's Pathway to Diversity online mentoring session. Today we will be talking about the benefit of small universities, small colleges, and we have two mentors today from the Pathways. One is Karina, and Karina is an education major. She's second year, and then Yancy is in psychology. So today we're just having an informal conversation and hopefully answer some of the questions from our students from our partner high schools or anyone else who's watching this video. We also have a guest here today from Marlboro Public Schools. She's our school liaison and guidance counselor who helps recruit our students. And so she is here to kind of observe and watch and see some ideas on how we can use this information as well. So welcome to everybody. Karina, I'll let you introduce yourself briefly and maybe tell us where you're from, what's been your favorite part about college so far, and then we'll move on to Yancy, and then I'll just start asking you some questions and we can engage in conversation as it moves.
Hi, I'm Karina. I'm from Cape Verde. It's a small island off the west coast of Africa. My favorite part about college is definitely the free time you get, because you get to like also have your classes, but also do whatever you need to do in between if you have gaps or anything like that. So that's been my favorite.
Wonderful, Karina. Cape Verde. We have a lot of students from Cape Verde here in the area and our university. And so it's great to have you. I should have said that I'm from Colombia, South America. I came here when I was 10. I don't know if Karina, you were born here or not, but that's something else that you could share. But I came when I was 10, and so I've been here for quite a number of years now. But it's always wonderful to kind of know that we have a very diverse group of students from all over the US, but also from the world. And so this is our opportunity to kind of share how we made it. So Yancy, why don't you introduce yourself?
Hello, my name is Yancy Castro. I'm originally from New York. I'm Dominican. I'm a senior. I'm a psychology major and a business management minor. And my favorite thing about college has to be, I guess, the interaction, because I'm a people's person. So I love interacting with new people and finding ways that they can help me so I could help other people and just keep moving forward that way.
Wonderful, Yancy. So do you speak Spanish or
Yeah,
maybe
I
your
do.
parents? You do. Okay, so
Yeah.
just like me. Que bueno. And Karina, how did you come from Cape Verde, or were you born here and your family came from Cape Verde?
I was born in Cape Verde and I came here with my family when I was around 5.
Okay, good. Excellent. And Yancy, I think you were probably born in New York.
Yeah, I was born in New York. My parents were born in New York.
So you were second generation and you speak Spanish. It makes me so proud. That is fantastic. And you know, one of the interesting things about being bilingual is that there are many careers, particularly the ones that we're focusing here on the pathways to diversity, where we don't have enough, not only diverse professionals, but bilingual professionals. So being in psychology and business world, Yancy would really help a lot of individuals that need that work, that help with Spanish. And Karina, I don't know if you know, I think it's
Cape Verdean Creole.
Cape Verdean Creole. Again, you would be able to help so many students, as the population of Cape Verdeans is very heavy here in the state of Massachusetts, but across the US as well. So it's really exciting. So keep your bilingualism. It doesn't matter how good it is, because I could say that I stopped learning Spanish academic in 3rd grade when I moved here when I was 10. But I speak it. And so I'm not really great at writing it, but that is okay. I think I've helped a lot of people, even in grocery lines, translating, or doctor's offices, or, you know, however it happens with my parents as well. And that is a gift, and it is an asset to our community. And sometimes we don't think of it that way, but it really is. So don't lose it, you know, even little bits. And Yancy, tell your parents I am so incredibly proud of the work they did to keep you bilingual, because as each generation goes, we lose the second language. So congrats, that's awesome.
Thank you,
So
thank you.
today we're here to talk about why did you select a small school versus a large school, or what have you liked about being in a school in a smaller university and doing your major here. So would anybody like to begin and tell me, a little bit about how you picked, or what has been a benefit of a small college or university?
Me personally, Newberry. I went to Newberry College, and Newberry College closed, so I was looking at better options to transfer, and I looked at LaSalle. And to be honest, it started with the what is it called? The man from student accounts. Like, he made the school sound so good, and when I came here and I like got to interact with the people, I really liked it. And I don't know, I stuck with it, and now I'm here.
That's good. And now you're a senior, so you're almost done.
Yeah,
And the
right.
goal was to graduate from college, right? And then that's one of those things that you need to make much better financial outcome at the end of your professional life. So that's great.
Exactly.
So yeah, so
And
sometimes it's just listening from others as to what a college might look like. What about you, Karina? How did you get to us? And did you evaluate small versus large, or just what have you liked about being in a smaller community?
Well, ever since middle school, I've been going to small school. So middle school and high school, I went to a small school. So looking at college, it just felt like the right way to go because that's all I've been used to. And small schools are like better for me because like it's a closer community where you can have multiple people you could reach out to that you know personally. While in a large school, although you may have those people, you may not have like the same connection you would have if it's a small school where you could get to know them. So in a small school, I feel like it's since it's small, this smaller population, you know more people and you could connect better.
Yeah, I agree with you, Karina. It's funny, I went to a smaller high school, and then I ended up going to a university with 10,000 students. And I remember just feeling completely lost. Just, trying to figure out the buildings, and, there were so many people that, you felt like you couldn't ask. And then when I changed my major from math to education and psychology, like I just had no one to help me process that. So I remember crying for like 2 weeks as I changed my major and felt like a failure. And then as soon as the following semester I took my ed classes and psychology classes, I was so happy. I'm like, oh my God, this was what I was meant to do. But I had to do it all alone, and I think that's one of the big differences here. So can you share a little bit about what your interaction with professors looks like at a small institution of like, 2 to 3,000 students or even less? We're here at LaSalle, we have about 1,700 students. So Yancy, do you want to share what the interaction, especially because you had that transition from Newberry here. So do you have any close relationship with professors or a club or something that's really made you feel welcome?
yeah, I was gonna say, like, at Newberry, things were very like it was a small school, so all the buildings were like close together, so you know how to get to where you needed to go. And in terms of interaction with professors, I got along with the professors. I feel like the professors had a good way of like trying to connect with the student, simply because it was such a small school and everybody knew everybody. Um, but I feel like the teachers at Newberry did a good job of trying to make sure the students like stood on top of their work. And I see that a lot here at LaSalle too. And I feel like that's what it's really all about, making sure the teacher stays on top of the student and make sure he's like willing to grow intellectually in the classroom and out.
Yeah, I love that. We do. We in smaller schools, we know all our students, and our goal is to kind of help you graduate. And that's probably the goal for every professor in every university. But when you're in a small school, every one of you counts. I think that one of the things that really highlights a smaller school also is that the faculty actually want to get to know their students very deeply. And, I find that I'm always giving students very unique feedback based on what I know about them. So when I met Karina last year, she was introduced to me by another student, And I was really excited she was in education. And now I hound her all the time, like, hey, how's it going? How's the semester going? Do you need anything? But in a way, it's kind of like, that's what I hoped I had gotten, and I didn't. And sometimes you kind of need that to get to that other level, right? I always tell my students, I say, you know, I pay for a physical, a trainer to come and work out with me twice a week, because if she doesn't come, I will not work out. And, you know, some students are busy and they have extended families and work outside and work inside the college. And sometimes we just need that little push to say, hey, how you doing? Did you complete the work? And then you're like, oh my God, I really need to do this. So Karina, what do you think about that connection with faculty and how it's helped you, or, you know, something
I
of
think
related?
I think it's really great, especially since it's a small school, so our classes aren't like 1,000 people in a class per one teacher, you know. So like we're like being like 20 to 30 students in a class. Each student can get the attention they need and deserve to get the proper education. So like me specifically, one of my teachers, it's completely remote. So we don't have Zoom classes, but she does have office hours every Friday where she encourages students to like check in, even if it's not about the class, just to check in and say hello, anything like that if they need help. So I think it's really great that they're able to do that and like have a relationship with each student that they can build and help out.
That's great, Karina. Thank you for sharing that. Is there an example that maybe each of you could share, beyond the office hours, but something specific that you got help with that that was really great, or that you've been able to help somebody, just based on those small class sizes that you think might be a good example for some of our high school students to hear?
I would definitely say, in terms of just being at school and a freshman, to definitely stay focused, because it's so easy to be distracted once you get to campus. And I don't know, like you can never forget what you came here for. Because I've seen friends that came to school to like, yeah, it's good to enjoy yourself, but it's also like you can't ever forget why you came here and what your motives are and like what you plan to get out of it. And I feel like a lot of people forget that in the midst of having fun. And I just want everybody who's in high school or in lower education to understand that you can do whatever you put your mind to.
That's right. That's right. And you have plenty of supports to help you get there, and you should have fun, but you should never forget that mission. I would put it like right in front of me.
Right.
Great advice, Yancy. Thank you so much. What about you, Karina?
I don't think I have any examples off the top of my head, but like you mentioned with you, when I was introduced to you, you were so helpful, and always checked up on me. And even though you're not my professor, you always offered help with classes or anything I needed with the school. So I think that was a great example because like in a big school, it's a little harder to do that because, you know, there's so many students and so many faculty that it's hard to find someone to help you. But I was able to connect with Adriana through my like class I had with her, which was another small class, and she introduced me to you, and just like that, it happened like, and you know, so like being able to like connect with you and like even though we have no like classes or anything like that, you were able to like help me out.
Yeah, a little bit. So that's good. And I think I also love the fact that we could value this work that you're doing and sharing with the high school students, and pay you a stipend or work study kind of idea, so that you know that you are valued for this expertise that you bring, because you're an expert in getting here, and as every year goes by, you're an expert in getting to completion, which is really great. And I want you to remember that about 67% of students that go to college graduate. So Yancy, you should feel amazingly proud, because that number for minority students like us, it's much lower. So I don't know how I made it back, 25 years ago, but Yancy, you're there, and we are that exception to that statistic. And I think we can only do that through supporting each other, anywhere from faculty to student and all the staff across smaller institutions. So thank you today. I think we have a question from Liz. It says, what was the transition like for you, Karina and Yancy, from high school to college in terms of workload and time management? So do you have any advice as we close up and we have that question?
In terms of time management, what I did personally, I saw like I just tried to make myself like aware of what I can take on and what I can do before I took on anything extracurricular. So I wouldn't like overwhelm myself with a lot of things and then have to cancel something because I have to do this. So I've mainly just advised to make sure to do everything it is that you want to do, as well as doing everything that you need to do, but also like staying focused and making sure that you take the time to do like how do I put this? Like the time to do what you need to do, but as well like I don't know, just making sure that you have the time management to do what you need to do. Because
So,
it could
so based on that, Yancy, do you feel that you organize your day or your week by chunks of time where you identify, okay, this is when the clubs meet, this is when I want to do sports, and then this is when I do my homework ahead of time, or how do you do that?
yeah, so I literally like on my calendar, I just put my classes out and the assignments that I need to do, and I just take it like that day by day. So I try to give myself a day to relax so I don't overwhelm myself and do homework every day.
Mhm.
But I just make sure I keep my calendar up to date because time could really just fly on. And
Great advice.
it is,
I think you're the second mentor who has suggested that they take one day to like really not do anything with with school related. And
yeah,
for high school students, I like to remind you that classes in college are even less often than our high school classes. So college students go to school either Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or Tuesday, Thursday generally, and classes are an hour 15, and you take 5 of them. So there's kind of spread over the week. So you might want to think about, like what Yancy said, you know, he may go to class in the morning and then he may schedule like an hour of relaxed time and then an hour of homework, and then he tries to abide by that rule so that way on Thursday when he doesn't want to do anything related to school, you know, he doesn't, and he could just chill out and hang out with his friends and stuff. So that's great advice. Karina, what about for you? What do you think would be in terms of workload and time management? What has worked for you in this last year and a half?
I know for me, I definitely need to see like at least a week ahead of me because so I could plan it because if I can't just like look at the day and see because then I have to figure out do I need to work ahead to get the project at the end of the week, you know? So I definitely need to plan out my week and base it off of that. But definitely I agree with Auntie by taking it like slowly and adjusting yourself and having a day where you can relax because it can get overwhelming. Like you said, it's not every day that you like might have class or like back to back. So you might take like that might get to you and you might think it's time to like relax. But if you plan it out accordingly and manage the time really well, you can be able to relax and also get your work done in a manner. And so, which is really important because you're going to school to get your education, get your degree. So also have fun, but don't forget the education part of it.
Yeah,
yeah,
great advice, Karina. And you know, it's interesting. When I was in college, I really liked to look at the month. I had a monthly calendar, and that way I could kind of see ahead. Now that I have a lot more work, I've gone down to, like Karina says, like by week, and I kind of have to look at my week in advance, and I look at every day, and it's almost like looking at it keeps my mind organized. So play around with your calendars and see what works. Because I think that is something that sometimes teachers make you keep like an agenda book and it's daily and you're like, oh, whatever, it doesn't feel like it helps. But sometimes weekly or sometimes monthly was really helpful to kind of see what kind of organizational mind you have. And you know, if we could share this advice, maybe you try it now as you get into college and there's a lot of things happening in your senior year, your junior year with SAT and applications and everything. So hopefully it kind of helps you get practice on it. Thank you so much to both of you. And thank you, Liz, for joining us and asking questions. She loves taking notes. So for her students, that'd be wonderful. And we welcome any of the students to reach out and see if you want to talk independently with Yancy or Karina through another Zoom call. And that way you can ask more specific questions, that you may find came up as you were looking at this Zoom meeting. So thank you again, and we'll see you soon in our next meeting tomorrow. We have another one with different mentors, so that's great. We get to know a lot of different perspectives from a lot of different students and across the different majors. So we're really lucky to be able to share that with you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.